Do I need a new email address if mine's involved in a breach? This is a more common question of late as news of various breaches comes to light. Seems like every week there's another one where one or more of our email addresses or services we're using are involved in some kind of breach exposing our data. The question comes then, what about the email address? Because that's probably the single most common piece of information that's been included in these breaches. Do you need a new one? Do I need a new email address if mine's involved in a breach? If you discover that your email address is part of a breach, you probably do not need to change it, but there are steps to take to protect yourself. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. Question. My email address was in one of the breaches we keep hearing about. Is that address still safe to use? Should I get a new email address? There's no need to get a new address just because your email account was part of a breach, as long as you can still log into your account. There are steps you should take, but that's not one of them. If you can't log into your email account anymore, though, you may have no other choice. Summary. If you can log into your email account, you don't need a new email address. If you can't log in and you can't recover access, well, then you do. Specific breach-related steps depend on what's known about the breach. Strong vigilance and security for all accounts are the best ways to prevent problems. If you can't log into your email account and you've pursued all the approaches to recover access, well, it's not your account anymore. Email Hacked 7 Things You Need to Do Now covers the basics of what you need to do and the steps you need to take. Whether or not it's related to any reported breach doesn't matter. Regardless of how it happened, you've lost access to the account. When that happens, you really have no other option. You'll need to get a new account and let your contacts know that you have a new email address. If you know the breached service, if you learn that your email address is part of a breach and you know which service was breached, the most important step to take is simple. Change your password. Change your password at that breached service as soon as you can. Change it to a long and strong password you don't use anywhere else. It's the bare minimum you need to do, and in many cases, it's really all you need to do. But you don't need a new email account because of it. If you don't know the breached service, this is a more difficult scenario. You learn your email address was discovered in a breach, but there's no indication of exactly which online services were breached. When this happens, I do 2 things. 1, I change my email password, just in case it was my email provider that was breached. This is probably unnecessary and exceptionally rare, but I'd rather be safe. 2, I start watching for odd behavior on all other accounts that email address is associated with, either as login ID or as primary/alternate email. That last point is frustratingly vague, but it's the best we can do. And honestly, it's what we should be doing whether or not our email addresses show up in breaches or not. Additional security. I generally don't panic when news of yet another breach appears because I apply strong security to all my accounts. That means strong passwords, which significantly reduce the probability that they could be cracked in a breach. Different passwords everywhere, so that when one breach happens, it can only impact the account that's been breached. 2-factor authentication, so that even if my password is discovered, any attempts by others to use it will fail. I strongly recommend that you do the same, starting with your email account. But there's no need to get a new email address because of a breach. For links related to this article or to leave a comment, visit askleo.com/72170. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is AskLeo.com. Thanks for watching.